Happy autumn! I love the fall time. It's the best. And I just bought a new place in Georgia, so I want to give you a quick tour. It's this cute cabin on 5 acres. And I absolutely love it. It's perfect for me. I just moved in 2 days ago. And it actually doesn't have a stove. So instead I got an induction cooking system and an air fryer and a few other miscellaneous things. I set up my physical therapy table and my craft stuff. I'm all moved in. It even has a loft, which is super cool. This is my room, bathroom. I don't even know if you could see this, it's a bit dark, but there's a little pantry area. Oh, I should show you this. Okay, so I started composting. So I have a bin in the freezer that has all my food scraps for the past couple days. And then over here, I've been keeping my cardboard, paper, carbon elements in there. And then I've been doing a fire each night. So I cut down a few trees, kind of cleaned up the yard a bit. There was also a dead tree in the front, and I've been burning that and then taking the ashes and putting them in my compost pile. So I started a compost pile back here, which actually is probably not the best place to do it because it should be more in the direct sun. But I raked a bunch of leaves, threw them in there, along with my food scraps and the fire stuff and all the fun things like that. I actually don't even know if you're supposed to put ashes and stuff in there, but I figure it's half decomposed anyway, so it's got to be good, right? Anyways, I want to use this whole area. It's going to be like a garden. I'm going to do an aquaponics system with fish, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to plant a bunch of trees. So I'm planting pecan trees, apple trees, peach trees because it's Georgia, plum trees, and pluots. This week I'm doing that. And then this is the barn. My neighbor's dog has been hanging out with me. There's 2 of them for the past couple days. So I raked a bunch of leaves and put them in trash bags for the springtime. Because the fall time right now actually is the best time to start composting. So I want to save all that goodness for later. And I want to get that going as soon as possible because I have tons of plans for this place. In fact, I actually yesterday sat down and wrote a list of all my ideas of what I want to build and create here. And it was a long list, let me tell you. Some of the things on the list, well, some of the things that I want to do is to get bees and have honey and honeycomb and bee pollen. And I want to get chickens for fresh eggs. I want to build things. I love building things and working with wood. And actually today, my mission is to experiment with burning wood. So I bought a torch and I'm going to go to town and just, I don't know, do some fun things. Anyways, I'm not going to walk all 5 acres, but you kind of get the idea. Anyways, yeah, so my other mission today too is I want to make chocolate covered pretzels and strawberries just because, I don't know, I want to do that. It's fun. I like to experiment with things. So if you haven't started following me, I don't know, this whole thing is funny. I went from like traveling the world to being a farmer girl in Georgia all of a sudden, so I don't know what that's about, but anyways, it'll be interesting, and if you want to follow along with me in my adventures, that would be awesome. So yeah, stay tuned. I am beyond excited, you guys. I have been waiting for this moment for so long. We are going to plant some trees. I got a couple different kinds of pecans and apples, and I was planning to get a bunch more actually, but the nursery was running low on, I don't know, varieties, I guess. But I'm gonna start with these. I got a Pawnee pecan and a Cato pecan. I've done a lot of research on this, and I actually wasn't super familiar with the Cato variety, but they're good cross-pollinators, and then I got a Fuji apple and a Gala apple, which are my two favorite apples. So I think this should be a tradition. I feel like every time that you move into a new place, you should plant some kind of a life-sustaining, I don't know, tree forest. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it right now. Anyways, I'm so excited, and I think this calls for a celebration. So cheers! With my apple cider, which I am also currently obsessed with. I love autumn. I don't know if I mentioned that to you, but it's my favorite. All right, let's get digging. Struggling. Even my neighbor's dog helped me dig. Here's the final results. I think it came out pretty good. They look happy, right? So last thing is I want to give a blessing to these trees. Lots of good vibes for growth and abundance, because I am excited to one day have lots of fruits and nuts. I'm going to plant more trees, and this is going to be like my orchard. Today we're going to be burning wood. I just got this new torch gun and I'm really excited to use it. I love the idea of working with wood and building things and being creative. Today I'm going to experiment a little bit since this is my first time. I'm going to experiment on this palette, and I don't really have a plan for it yet. I might do maybe some artwork or something with it if it turns out good, but I feel like I need to experiment a little bit and just kind of see how it turns out first. I was going to try to put it against, like, you know, non-flammable items, but really if you think about it, like, what's really not flammable? Like, really, I mean, everything is, right? So, but just for safety, I got a hose ready to go, just in case. Okay, I'm not trying to burn my house down. Okay, I attached the propane tank, and I'm just going to turn it on. And that hissing sound means it's working. So, let's get started. Oh, there it is. All right. I'm going to try to go with the green. Oh my god. This is terrifying. Okay. This one I want to experiment with, like, actually charcoaling it almost, and then using the wire brush to scrape it off. So this one I'm doing intentionally a bit darker. Use this wire brush and then brush off and just kind of see what the difference is, you know, as an experiment, right? Here's the finished piece. I actually think it came out pretty good, considering it was my first time. I love how the fire brings out the grain in the wood. I just think it looks really cool. But I do have to say though, the risk of fire with this is really high, so please be careful. When I was doing the bottom bits, I actually set some of this on fire, and thank God I had my hose ready and waiting to go, because fire is no joke and it spreads really quickly. So for that reason, I would actually recommend not doing this at home. But if you are going to do this at home, just be prepared and be ready, because that is not something that you want. Anyways, I would love your feedback and your comments, and if you've done any projects like this, I would love to see them. So please post them in the comment section. For my next experiment, I am going to be planting shiitake mushrooms. I think you're supposed to do this in the springtime, but it's the fall, and I'm just going to do it anyway. So I ordered these plugs online, and I'll be walking you through the process. Basically, we're going to be drilling holes in a log, and then filling the holes with these plugs, and then covering the plugs with melted beeswax. And I think you're supposed to use oak trees, and I actually have several oak trees on my property, but I really love them and I did not want to cut them down. So I chose instead to cut down this hardwood tree. And it's a small diameter, but I actually think it'll be perfect for the amount of plugs and stuff that I'll be using. So I'm going to give you a list of all the supplies and let's get started. I thought I'd give you a closer look at these plugs. They're kind of like dowels that you would find in IKEA, but they're infused with spores, which is also known as mycelium. Okay, safety third. I'm going to drill some holes in the log. I'm using the 5/16 drill bit, and we want the holes about 4 inches apart. So just like that, and then when you make the next row, you want it to be about 2 inches apart and staggered. And then you could do that all the way around the log. Once you get the holes drilled, you can hammer in the plugs and cover them with the melted wax. So that's how to grow mushrooms in your backyard using this method. I'm excited for mushrooms in like a year. It takes about a year for the mushrooms to be fully inoculated into the log and to be ready for fruiting and harvest. Once it reaches that stage, you want to soak the log in a cold water bath for 24 hours and then stand it upright. And the mushrooms grow within 6 to 7 days. So it's a pretty simple process and I think it's worth it. I mean, I don't know, I'll have to keep you updated. And when it reaches that stage, I'll have to do another video for you.
I did not forget about the chocolate covered pretzels. I think they came out pretty good. I just might have a midnight snack.